guys, it's Considered Gaming back with another gaming video, and today we're playing some Fallout 4, and we're doing something a little different today. This time I'm gonna read you I'm gonna read a book this time, and it's called Storybook Collection Disney Pixar. And the first story we're gonna read is Toy Story and Beyond, Buzz's Big Mission. Okay, let's get started, guys. It says, Buzz Lightyear the Space Ranger stood by Andy's window and looked at the night sky. Stars were twinkling and the moon was full. Buzz sighed. Outer space. Once he thought space was where he had come from. That was before he knew he was a toy. Still, he was an adventurer and had always wanted to explore space. That hadn't changed. Buzz remembered that Andy had made a wish upon a star once, so Buzz looked for the brightest star in the sky and made his own wish. Then he quietly hopped onto bed and went to sleep next to Andy. The next morning, Buzz overheard Andy talking with his mother. Mom, I forgot to tell you, Andy said excitedly. The science club at school made a spaceship. They're going to launch it into the park tomorrow. They said I could watch it blast off. Can I, Mom, please? Can I? Sure, Andy's mom replied. A spaceship, Buzz thought. Scientist. His wish had come true. This was his last chance to explore space. Andy pushed the button on Buzz's back to infinity and beyond, Buzz exclaimed. Soon Andy left for school. The moment the door closed, the toys came to life. On the bed, Buzz jumped to his feet. Attention, everyone, he cried. I have an announcement. Tomorrow I am going into space on a spaceship. Oh, everyone was impressed. Everyone, that is, except Woody, the cowboy. One of Andy's favorite toys. Buzz, he said, remember when Sid strapped to you that rocket, and you were almost sent into space? That was really dangerous. This is not a rocket, but an official spaceship created by highly trained scientists, Buzz said. Now I need to prepare for the mission. You must all help me to the train. Sure, the toys agreed. We'll help you, Buzz. Phase 1, fitness training, Buzz called. The other toys. Buzz jumped off to the bed. Below him, Ham the piggy nudged a big rubber ball into place. Buzz landed on the ball and bounced high into the air exactly as planned. He grabbed the doll's clothes hanger, which had been hanging on the jump rope that was strung across the room. Buzz zipped down the rope. When he got to the end of it, he leaped to the floor. From there, he churned and hopped in and out of RC's car's spare tires, which had been set out below the jump rope. After the tires, it was time for chin-ups. Rex, the dinosaur, had rigged a pencil between two towers of blocks. He gave Buzz a lift to the pencil and stepped away. 20 chin-ups later, Buzz ran for the finish line, which was strung across the closet door. When he reached it, the toys cheered. Hooray! It says phrase 2. Buzz told the toys space training. He stood in the front of the clear plastic ball like the other ones. Hamster rolled around in. He climbed in through a small doorway and braced his arms and legs against the sides of the ball. Okay, RC, he yelled at the race car, give me a push. RC received his engine and gave the ball a big push. The ball rolled over and over inside it. Buzz turned which way he went all around the room. Finally, the ball banged into a wall that hatch fell open and Buzz stumbled out. The toys ran over and clustered around him. "Buzz," said Rex, "are you all right, partner?" Woody asked worriedly. Buzz unrolled himself. "I am all right," he cried. "Have no fear." The rest of the day was filled with more training. Buzz got language lessons from the little green alien toys. He learned how to say greetings from another planet and "I come in peace." They also showed him a secret alien handshake. The Green Army man taught himself defense moves in case he had to fight enemies. He even practiced his karate chop on the sergeant. Buzz knew the temperature changed a lot in space. Once the spaceship left Earth, the air would really get cold. So Buzz stood in front of the air conditioner for an hour to prepare for the cold temperatures. Then Bo Peep found a hair dryer and got Rex to hold it. That way, Buzz could feel how warm it would get if the spaceship got close to the sun. By the end of the day, Buzz felt ready to go into space. Just before Andy's bedtime, Buzz gathered all the toys. "I'll be back in a few years when I finished my mission. This is one small step for toys, one giant leap for toy kind," Buzz said. "Andy will be all grown up by then," thought Woody. Buzz turned to Bo Peep and said, "Bye, Bo. Take care of those sheep. Bye, Rex. Practice your roar every day. Bye, Slinky Dog. Be a good dog. Bye, Ham. Remember, a penny saved is a penny earned. Bye, each a sketch. Keep trying. To infinity and beyond" on his screen. Buzz turned to Woody and shook his hand. "Are you sure you want to do this, Buzz?" Woody asked. "Of course," Buzz cried. "Besides, now it will be like it was before I got here. You're my friend. I don't want you to go," Woody said sadly. "But I hope you find everything you're searching for." To infinity and beyond. That night, when Andy and all the other toys were asleep, Buzz stared out the window at the moon. Tomorrow, he would be up there. In the morning, Andy jumped out of bed. "It's launch day," he shouted. He grabbed Buzz and ran downstairs from the window. Woody, Rex, Ham, Slinky, and Bo Peep watched as Andy ran down the street toward the park. He was holding Buzz tightly on his hand. Woody gave Buzz a wave. He thought he saw Buzz wave back. Half an hour later, the toys saw the spaceship stick up into the air. Before it disappeared behind distant trees, Bo Peep turned away sadly. Slinky buried his head into Woody's side. Woody patted him. The toys watched out the window for a long time. Finally, Woody whispered, "Goodbye, Buzz." "Goodbye, Buzz." A while later, the toys heard Andy's ran upstairs and put something by his door before racing away. "Why is everybody so sad?" a familiar voice asked. When toys turned and saw Buzz peeking around the door frame. "Buzz," Woody cried. "But what about the spaceship we saw the blast off?" Buzz shrugged. "It looked more like a rickety remote airplane than a high-tech space vehicle. Besides, I realized something." He lifted up his foot and looked fondly at the bottom of it. Andy was written in a black marker. Buzz smiled. "Being Andy's toy is the greatest mission of all. I wouldn't miss it for the universe." How sad. Now let's on to the next one. It is called Finding Nemo, The Big Search. One day, a little clownfish named Nemo went on a field trip. His classmates dared each other to swim toward a boat that was anchored nearby. Nemo's father, Marlin, warned his son not to go, but Nemo didn't listen. He was tired of his dad thinking he was too little to do anything. Marlin was overprotective of his son. Nemo had been the only survivor when a barracuda attacked Nemo's mother, and as full of eggs she had laid, plus Nemo's right fin had always been smaller than the left one, which worried Marlin even more. As Marlin called out to him, Nemo reached the boat and slapped it with his fin. Just then, the scuba diver snatched Nemo before Marlin knew it. His son was gone. Nemo, he cried, "No, no!" Marlin swam after the boat, but it quickly disappeared. "Help me!" Marlin shouted to a group of fish who were swimming by. "Has anybody seen a boat by a irregular blue tank fish named Dory? Stop to help. It was this way," she said. "Follow me." But Dory was a very forgetful fish. She led Marlin in circles because she couldn't remember anything. Marlin decided that following Dory wasn't going to help him find the sun. He turned to go and came face to face with the big shark. The shark took Dory and Marlin to a sunken submarine to meet his friends. Marlin was worried that the sharks would attack them, but the sharks said they were trying not to eat other fish. Then Marlin spotted the mask of the scuba diver. He remembered seeing one of them fall off the boat and taking Nemo before it sped away. Dory wanted to see if the sharks could read the writing on it, but Marlin didn't. He said didn't trust the sharks. Dory and Marlin struggled over the mask so much that he hit Dory's nose and made it bleed a little. Once the shark named Bruce smelled the blood, he couldn't control himself. Now he wanted to eat Dory and Marlin. Bruce chased down the fish while his friends tried to stop him. Finally, they managed to escape. But their adventures weren't over yet. Dory and Marlin still had the mask with writing on it. Luckily, Dory remembered that she knew how to read. Just then, accidentally dropped the mask. The two fish swam after into deep, dark water. Soon they spotted a glowing ball. As they swam closer, they saw the ball was attached to a scary anglerfish. Marlin tried to distract the anglerfish so Dory could read the writing and the mask. "Speed read," he commanded. Dory read, "P. Sherman 42, Wallaby Way, Sydney. That had to be where Nemo was." The anglerfish charged Marlin and Dory, held up the mask. The anglerfish slammed into it and ended up trapped with the mask on its face. Marlin and Dory quickly swam away. Marlin decided he should go to Sydney alone. Dory was always forgetting things, and she took a long time to do everything. He needed to get to Nemo as soon as possible, so he told Dory he would go on without her. "You mean you don't like me?" Dory asked. She started to cry. A group of moonfish overheard what Marlin had said and swam over to comfort Dory. When Marlin asked them how to get to Sydney, they wouldn't give him directions. But when Dory asked, they pointed in the direction of the East Australian current. Marlin decided to let Dory go with them after all. What a nice day, right, guys? Marlin had already started swimming away when one of the moonfish gave Dory a tip. "When you come to a trench, swim through it, not over it," he warned. Soon Dory and Marlin came to a trench, and Marlin wanted to swim over it. Dory thought it was wrong, but she couldn't remember why. So they went with Marlin's plan. As they swam over the trench, they were surrounded by a school of jellyfish. Marlin dodged their sting tentacles, but he turned out around. He didn't see Dory. "Dory," he called. He reacted to his steps and found that she had been trapped by a jellyfish. Marlin was stung several times as he pulled his friend to safety. Marlin and Dory really tired from the jellyfish encounter. They drifted for a while. As soon as everything went black, when Marlin woke up, he was on the shell of a giant sea turtle named Crush. Dory was riding on the shell of another turtle. They were tons of turtles all swimming the East Australian current towards Sydney, talking on jellyfish. "Awesome!" Crush exclaimed. Marlin told the younger turtles about how he was swimming the ocean to find his missing son. The turtles told the other turtles, and the news was passed from one sea creature to another. Dory and Marlin rode the turtles' sails for a while. Before they knew it, the turtles were dropping them off near Sydney. As they swam through the murky water, they got lost. Dory decided to ask a whale for help, but as the whale approached it quickly swallowed them. Marlin was frantic. "I have to get out. I have to find my son," he cried. Then the whale began to croon. It swam to the surface and water came out of its spout along the Marlin and Dory. They looked around. The whale had taken them to Sydney Harbor. The two fish looked all night for the boat, and they had been taken to Nemo, but they couldn't find it. The next morning they were stopped up by a pelican. The pelican wanted to eat them, but Marlin had enough. "I didn't come this far to be breakfast," he cried. He and Dory struggled on until the pelican finally let them go. "I gotta find my son Nemo," Marlin yelled. Another pelican named Nico overheard Marlin. "I know where your son is," he said. He had heard lots of stories about a dad who was braving his way through the ocean to find his son. Plus, he had met Nemo himself at a dentist's office where little clownfish was living in a fish tank. Nico put some water in his beak, picked up Marlin and Dory, and flew toward the Wallaby Way. When they got to the office, they saw Nemo, but he looked like he was dead. Marlin didn't know that Nemo had been pretending to be dead so he could go back into the ocean. The dentist pushed Nico out the window. In the chaos, Nemo fell out the tray. After a struggle with the dentist's betray, Brady niece Darla, and with some help of the other fish in the tank, Nemo was captured. Nemo was catapulted into the dentist's sink. He went down to the drain. "Don't worry," shouted one of the tank's fish. All drains lead to the ocean. Since Marlin thought Nemo was gone, he asked Nico to drop him and Dory back into the harbor. Marlin was heartbroken. He thought he had lost Nemo. He thanked Dory for her help and told her it was time for them to go separate ways. "I'm sorry," he said, "but I won't forget." At that moment, Nemo popped out of the sewer drain into the harbor and into the claws of some crabs. Luckily, he escaped and ran into Dory. She didn't know who Nemo was at first. Then she spotted a sign of the pipe that said Sydney and remembered everything. Nemo was the fish they had been searching for. She had to get Nemo and his father back together. Dory and Nemo swam quickly and caught up with Marlin. "Nemo!" Marlin cried. "Daddy!" Nemo shouted. They were so happy to see each other. Just then, Dory got caught in a fishing net along with a school of grouper fish. Thinking quickly, Nemo swam into the net. Marlin was worried his son would get hurt, but Nemo convinced that he could help. As Nemo swam down to the other fish, Marlin joined, and the fish swam downward, and the net broke. All the fish were free. Marlin swam to Nemo. Marlin was overjoyed to have his Nemo back again, and during the search he made some amazing friends, especially Dory, even if she could always remember who he was. The end. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little segment. If you guys enjoyed this series, just don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already for more content. And this can be a regular thing now. Just let me know if you guys enjoyed it or not. So yeah, so I can, upload more videos like this. Because if you guys don't like it, then I won't upload it. But if you do, I'll be sure to upload more videos like this. Alright guys. Yeah. I mean, I like reading books, If you don't like the Disney books. I can find more books to read if you guys like different. Just let me know what kind of books you guys like, and I'll be sure to upload them. I'll be sure to find them, so we can read them together. Yeah, I know I mispronounced some words, but that's because I was reading too fast and I went slow. But I'll get used to it. Alright guys, thank you for watching the video, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already for more content like this. This is Consider signing out. Bye bye guys.